Happy New Year! What's up, guys? Studfit here. Want to walk through the daily spotlight shop. Hopefully, you're enjoying the brand new New Year's 2023 tour. It's in some people's minds, it's a little bit more of a filler tour. There's no new driver, but I think it's a lot of fun. We got a lot of these RT tracks in there. We'll break it all down in the rundown. Hopefully, we'll get that to you to watch Saturday morning. But before we do, this daily spotlight shop was just released an hour ago. Huge shout out to Sam78IT, which, by the way, just as a little fun little teaser, he and I have talked. We'd like to be able to do a special episode walking through his toolbox, which actually got second place on our awards ceremony. So really pumped to walk through that with him for you guys, and hopefully have that for you maybe next week or two. But now you're probably having to decide. We got the spotlight shop, and you're having to say, what am I going to do with all these rubies? Before I get into any of this, I have to describe, there are little Studfit ruby colored logos there. These are just suggestions or nudges to recommend you looking into the spreadsheets and trackers to be able to see if these items make sense for your account. These aren't just go ahead and buy them items. These are items that I just highly recommend you doing some research on. Now, with all of that being said, there's a huge discount on Mies right now. So if you have 100, 200, maybe 300 rubies and you're looking for something to buy, I'd highly recommend looking at those ruby discounted, I think 70 rubies or so for a Mii, which is a great deal for all these Miis there. So if you haven't gotten them all, I'd highly recommend that being your first priority. Now, moving into the drivers that are not Miis, there are only a few, about 5 that I selected. I selected 8 for the other 2 categories, but really this is kind of slim pickings for the drivers. There were only a few that stood out to me. Obviously, Pink Shy Guy Ninjas have been having a great year. He's obviously a great driver. Giant Banana, some of these long tracks he's pretty good on. But overall, he's just a fun driver, and I think any player, new or old, will enjoy having him in your account. PD Piranha, regular. Now, you might not be interested in boomboxing, which, again, I think if you only want coinbox drivers, you don't need this list. You know exactly what to do. But if you do like boomboxing, you don't mind it. That's where you have a boomerang driver and you're trying to wait for the right time based on resetting, etc., to be able to wait for a bot with a coinbox to release its coinbox, and then you can actually get from an actual action count perspective. It's one of the best skills to have in the game. It's really, really good on short tracks. It's really good on tracks where you have a lot of coin boxers on that middle shelf, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. And this tour, we have a lot of RT tracks, which seem to be kind of long in general, but there are some sweet short tracks where PD Piranha is pretty good. Overall, I think he could do really well. Honestly, everything PD Piranha related is not a bad bet to go with. And then those are within the medium rates. There are some really low rates for these gold drivers, such as Gold Egg, Gold Something Yoshi, and the Charging Chuck Gold. So Charging Chuck Gold would be my preference out of any of these drivers, but Yoshi Gold Egg, Gold Something, which is what I like to call him, is pretty solid in general too. I think his days passed. I think really, unless you don't have them, I would probably stay away from them. Getting dupes with any of these items are probably not the way to go. This would be probably a first time buy only for all these items, everything on this list. I would highly recommend just using tickets to be able to level up things from there. Now, moving into carts, there are 2 notable off-roaders. Now, the third off-roader, the original off-roader, is debatable. That's up to you. It's going to be depending on your account, but a lot of its coverage is older. However, because it has the largest hitbox in the game, you can't go wrong with it if you absolutely don't have. If you don't have it and you're a newer player, not bad to get. I will say the number one choice for you, really, this tour or the last 56 tours, 26 tours, would probably be this yellow off-roader. This has been the card of the year, unquestionably, and it's gone really, really well with the double feature and rank this tour. It's really, really great. Now, the red off-roader, it's a younger little brother. Is doing okay. It's had a couple rocky tours, but overall, it's pretty solid. And again, you can't go wrong with that hitbox. As we move into the regular rates for the carts, you have the Tropical Truck, which has been surging here lately. I thought it was going to die off, but it's been going pretty hard here, not just through the winter tour, but also into this RT tour. Obviously, it's in ranked and it's doing pretty well. Now, the Lightning Streamliner, it's had a very early surge into the top 10, and it's kind of been outside and inside of the top 10 back and forth. But I will let you know from Ansel and I that we've done some changes a little bit to the algorithms, which you'll see later this week. But ultimately, it's back in our top 10, and so I think it's a pretty solid card. The one thing you will have to decide is if the hitbox of it, the size, the width by the length is going to be worth it for you. It's a around the same size as the tropical truck, but that might be a little too small for you. I'm kind of preaching this new thing about this minimum viable hitbox. What's the minimum hitbox that you can to be able to, as one kind of Mendoza line, is to be able to get 2 coins off of a jump boost ramp. If you're kind of jumping between 2 coin sets, I know every coin set's a little different, but if you're jumping through and you miss both of them, that's a bad sign. You need a bigger hitbox, you need a bigger driver, and what's kind of drawing this into the equation is Larry Wintertime. Obviously, it's a smaller hitbox, so if you're using Larry Wintertime and he's someone you're investing in, I don't know if you can invest as strongly into the tropical truck and into the Lightning Streamliner as other carts, just because him paired with them is not going to do so well. You're going to miss a lot of those coins, especially as those coin box coins are going all over the track. Now, one new one here is the Flowery Bandwagon. Based on the change of the algorithm, this one is a really hot one coming up. It's one I have been keeping my eye on as I research my account. I put in some of the carts I've invested heavily into, such as the Shield Speedster, the Tropical Truck, the Secura Hot Rod, the White Bruiser. It actually spit out that the Flowery Bandwagon was my best choice to cover the remaining tracks in just 2022. So it was a very small sample size and on how I was trying to look at the coverage. But that's one that spit out a good coverage pairing for me based on what I've invested in. Highly recommend you check out a Turtle Dude's coverage optimizer as well. As we move on, the Shield Speedster obviously been our number one cart in the game. No introduction needed there. It's a solid cart for sure still. Then the red Vampire Flyer. This is one that we talked about on the reaction, that some of these items that were items that you could receive as a reward from ranked will or could be eventually brought back into the Spotlight shop. Now here's the thing, around the same exact tour as this red Vampire Flyer was released, so was Gold Petey. And you know what? Gold Petey's not in the Spotlight shop right now. So not everything's guaranteed to come out when that's the case, but it does seem to be that's possible here with this red Vampire Fly. And last one I have here, it's the much lower rate gold items for the Gold Bullet Blaster. Again, its size is much smaller, it's even smaller, probably the smallest card I have highlighted here. But it is doing really well with coverage. It's one of the few gold cards that's doing really well. Moving to gliders. The Sakura Origami Glider has been in and out of the top 10 for probably the last, 10 months, but it's still really solid with coverage. The Green Cap Airfoil has been in our top 5 really for the last, 3 or 4 tours. Highly recommend that. But I think if you get one glider you don't have, I'd highly recommend you researching it, is this 1-Up Mushroom, the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom. It is so strong right now. I've been talking it up, Ansel and I, it's been in our top 10 for now 4 or 5 months as well. But it's been really, really going up, and it seems like it's getting the exact buffs it needs. It's so strong right now. It's I think even it was voted in our award ceremony, which I'd highly recommend you check it out. Even was ranked as potentially one of the best items next year as well. One new item I wanted to put on here is the Icy Mario's Mustache. This is one that you may not have looked at. I think it was highlighted a lot in the winter tour because we thought, hey, it's winter. But it's actually doing really well in this tour as well. And it's actually been pretty strong, been moving and shaking as well. So just want to put that on there. Just highly recommend you check it out. It was between that or the chocolate pretzel. And you know what? I had to give it. In fact, I think with the algorithm, it went up pretty substantial. One of the biggest movers and shakers was this Icy Mario's Mustache. So definitely worth looking into. Between this Mario and Luigi hat, both of them are pretty strong. I like the Mario a little better than the Luigi, but certainly worth looking into either one of these hats. It has a lot of these, Mario or Luigi related tracks, worth looking into. The one new one here is the Silver Candlelight Flight. This is one that I've kept my eye on. It's been really, really cool looking, but it's been sneaky. Its coverage is going every tour. It keeps getting good buffs. And it's finally kind of added onto this list. And then the last two I'll mention are no new ones to this video. The Piranha Plant balloons and the boom masks. Both have been really, really strong. Piranha Plant balloons obviously been our #1 glider for a brief period of time here, taking over for the wonderful wings. We'll see if that continues. And then the boom masks keeps going really, really strong. Highly recommend those. So those would be my recommendations for or nudges to do some research on your account. Hopefully that's helpful. And hopefully, Lord willing, with my my getting over COVID-19, hopefully we can get the rundown here in a day or so. But thank you guys for tuning in. Until the rundown, may the friends of luck be with you.